We have here a 1940s Cyma World War II military watch, and the balance staff is broken, as you can see, and we're going to replace the balance staff and service this watch. Now, for the purpose of this video, I've already stripped down the movement and I've already cleaned all the parts ready for assembly. Now that the watch has been cleaned, I can start to replace the balance staff. In order to replace the balance staff, obviously I have to strip down the balance, and so this is what I'm going to do now. Now, being manufactured in the 1940s, this is a watch that's seen approximately 70 odd years of life, and so as you can see there's lots of scratches and dents and dings and all sorts of gremlins. So you can see here that the top and bottom pivot is broken on this balance staff. Before removing the hairspring, we have to take note of where the hairspring stud is in relation to the balance wheel, and you can see somebody in the past has actually made some marks on the rim here, and so I'm just going to leave that as is and use that as my guide. Now to remove the roller, and for the observant among you, you might notice that the roller is actually broken, and this is the first gremlin or major gremlin that I've come across on this watch, and the top and bottom part of the roller are actually split from each other, and you can see that somebody, or you may see that somebody has actually in the past just squashed it together. So yeah, this is something we have to deal with. Unfortunately, parts for this particular caliber are very limited. The chance of getting a new roller is quite difficult, so just going to have to do the best I can with this one. So in order to remove the roller, I'm using a Platax tool or Platax tool, which is my preferred method. There are other methods. You can use a roller remover. This you don't have to beat this or hammer it off. Just a firm push with your fingers will be enough. Possibly how it got damaged in the past. Just be very careful when taking these off. And you don't see this in the video, but that actually comes off in two parts, which it shouldn't do. So now I'm taking off the balance staff, and for that I've reversed the balance wheel in the Platax tool. I'm not doing a tutorial on how to use a Platax tool here, but needless to say, it makes my life a lot easier. If anybody wants me to show them how to use a Platax tool, let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to do a tutorial. Basically, it just breaks the rivet without damaging the balance wheel. So now the staff is removed from the balance wheel. We can have a look and see what we're up against here. So here we are, second major gremlin. You can see the hole in the middle of the balance wheel there has quite a deep countersink, which is highly unusual. But here's just to compare the old balance staff with the broken pivots to the new one. We're just gonna judge this, make sure the balance staff fits in the hole just nicely and snugly. So now we need to set up our tooling, and for this we're going to use a staking set. Any staking set will do. Using a Bergeon staking set, and it's better to choose the punches that you'll be using beforehand, and you need a couple of flat punches and a couple of domed punches, and measure them through the hole. They need to fit nicely over the new balance staff, and also you need to be able to see the edges of the punch through the hole of the balance wheel. I'm trying to demonstrate that there. So in the staking set, choose the correct size hole for the staff, and the staff will need to fit nice and loosely in the hole, not overly loosely, but just find the hole that it doesn't fit into, which is this one, and go one up. There we are. Now we've chosen the correct hole in the staking set, we need to just center that and then tighten the staking tool using a centering punch. That allows us to do that easily. So now the hole is centered. As I put the balance staff back in the hole and fit the balance wheel on top of the balance staff, now we can start riveting. And to start with, we need to use the domed punches, and the domed punches will spread the rivet out. Now in spreading out, it will actually grip the balance wheel. When you're tapping the punch, you don't have to hit it really hard. Just a little tap each time will be enough. If you hit it too hard, you're going to split the balance staff. So slowly but surely, don't have to rush this part. Every time you tap it, turn the balance wheel maybe 45 degrees, just to keep it nice and even, and always keep inspecting it. once the wheel is gripping the balance staff, just use a wide flat punch, and don't use a hammer, but just press down firmly with your fingers, just to make sure that the balance wheel is seated firmly on the balance staff. And then using your dome punch, spread out just a little bit more. And what you want to do is use the wider domed punch this time to spread out the edges of the rivet. You can see I'm not really going to town on hammering away. It's just little taps that are required. It's quite a lot of force goes through that punch and centers itself right at the bottom. So you really don't need to hit it hard, just enough to spread it out so that it grips the balance wheel tightly enough. And as I say, keep inspecting it to make sure that everything looks even and as expected. Right, once the rivet is spread out and is gripping the balance wheel nicely and tightly, now you use the flat punches, and what this does is it pushes the rivet flat against the balance wheel. Now, I did mention before that there's quite a deep countersink in this particular balance wheel, so although I'll get the rivet straight, it's not going to look majorly pretty. There's going to look like there's a gap. Unfortunately, I can't get around that, shy of manufacturing a new balance wheel, but we don't need to go down that route. So now to finish by flattening down the rivet as much as possible. As you can see, that nasty gap between the balance staff and the balance wheel, but as long as the balance wheel is true and tight on the balance staff, we should be fine. Now to test the end shake and side shake and trueness of the balance, I'm just gonna put it onto the movement with the balance cock and get a feel for it. Okay, I'm happy with that. So now to reassemble the balance, we're going to start off by refitting the roller, remembering that the roller is damaged, so extreme care is required in this particular case, because I don't want to make it any worse than it is. But this is the joy of watch repairing. Eventually, after a lot of tweaking and manipulation, I managed to get this roller fitted correctly so that the timing was not affected by the damage. And so now to the balance spring. One important thing to note is that when fitting the roller and the balance spring, do not hammer these back on, because you are going to cause major damage. The only thing you need to do is push them on securely with your fingers, with not too much pressure, only exactly enough pressure needed to drive them true to home. Now, some of you might be thinking, why didn't I poise the balance once I fitted the roller and before I fitted the balance spring? Well, there's more than one way to poise a balance, and with this kind of hairspring, the best way is to use dynamic poising methods, and that's can only be done once the balance is back in the watch and running. As you can see, here's my notes, and you can see 7 different positions, and there's quite, at the start there was quite a drastic amount of differential error. After adjustment, I've managed to get that down to quite a low amount of positional error. You've got dial up, you've got pendant down, you've got pendant forward. When we started, we had a difference of minus 111 seconds to positive 46 seconds, or gaining. After a lot of adjustments, I've managed to get this down to positive 20 seconds and to positive 3 seconds, which equates to plus or minus 10 seconds a day as an average, which for a watch of this age I consider to be quite exceptional. So this is my video on how to fit a new balance staff to this vintage Cyma watch. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments below, and if you like my videos, please subscribe and hit the thumbs up button, and you'll be informed when I produce more new content. So thanks for watching.